So it's a Saturday night. What are you planning on doing?
You are now listening to Limited Trust, a Devastator podcast. Let's get into it.
Episode 40, motherfucker. Limited Trust, a Devastator podcast. I'm here. I'm out in the fucking garage again. Man, I like the garage. Today's a nice day. I didn't open the garage door because people are, as usual, wilding the fuck out there. A couple of them being my own fucking kids. But it's nice. I got the garage door closed, and I can still kind of hear what's going on out there, and it's nice. It's not too hot. So I like it. I like it when it's a nice climate for the old pod. And I'm thinking, I'm looking at it right now, the wall, hitting the wall. I think I'm gonna try to rehang the fucking thing a little more straight and add a bottom section to make it, twice the size. I'm thinking is gonna be the new thing. Because it's just, it's never enough. Someone once said, it's never too much and it's never enough. So today was Erica's father's funeral. And, it was a long time coming, it felt like. And I'm glad that we can close another chapter and hopefully I'm able to put my funeral clothes away for a little while, because man, them shits are getting pulled out way too often. I need a break. So if you're out there listening, give me a break, please. Can't do much more, man. I'm sure we could do anything, but unfortunately, I think my kids and everyone are getting way too accustomed to these things. And that was, I'd say in how people usually experience funerals, let's just say, hold on one second. Oh, you heard that shit? Let's just say you started 8, 9, 10 with the typical grandparent kind of thing. Is usually how it goes, right? Right around there. Or great grandparent for me. Well, I just thought about it, and I just had my first grandparent die, which I never had that happen before. And I just thought about that right there when I was kind of like out there. I go, oh shit, I made it 30 years, 36 years with my grandparents. So I guess I'm consider myself lucky. But you start your great grandparents or whatever. You usually start kind of young, and I didn't hide anything. As you guys know, you've heard me talk to my kids before. I don't hide anything from them. I don't talk to them like they're babies. I don't treat them like children. I treat them like equals. I talk to them like equals. And I'm sure there's people who have listened to the episode with Aaron and Sophia, and have said like, "What, Jesus? How the fuck? Why does he talk to his kids like that? Or why does he talk in front of them like that?" It's just because I do, and I know that I hear the way their friends talk, and I hear the way fucking TikTok talks to them, and I hear the way YouTube talks to them, and I hear the way the fucking Grand Theft Auto lobby talks to them. And I don't want to say sugarcoat, because that term gets thrown around too much, but I'm not gonna act like I'm some kind of fucking beacon of hope of clean living. I'm fucking, when we were talking about Alyssa one day, and she'll be 17 in a couple of days, and we were talking about her, and I was like, dude, she's a fucking great kid, man. I was like, she's great. And, oh yeah. I said, yeah. I mean, fuck, 17. I was fucking snorting heroin, So I mean, I don't know. I had 3 felonies and fucking and had quit doing. Well, I only did it twice, but I said I wasn't never doing it again. I had already sworn off heroin and got 3 felonies by the time I was fucking 17. So, she's I think she's doing great. But anyway, I'm getting, what the fuck was that? Anyway, that was a little weird. So the kids have had like this rapid fire succession of funerals in the last fucking 60 days. And I remember going to my first one, and you know what these funerals all had in common is there was no body. Excuse me. There was no body. They were all cremations. So I know that is a big part of that traumatic funeral experience. That's how my first one was a showing or whatever it's called, and I think quite a few of them were showings, and the hardest was always kids. I've been to a lot of kid funerals, and by kids I mean 18, 16. My little sister, she was just a baby, and a friend of mine's daughter was murdered by the mother's new boyfriend. She was like 3, I think, and that was fucked up. That was fun. I'm glad that wasn't a fucking. Yeah. That was probably one of the worst funerals I'd ever been to. Aside from my friend, as far as mentally challenging, was the murdered child. That was pretty fucked up. And the whole time you're sitting there, and they got like baby toys and pictures and stuff, and all I could think of was my kids, and they weren't at the time. They weren't far off in age. Dying over here, and I couldn't help but just think of that while we were sitting there, and I was just like, I can't even fucking imagine, and I hope I don't ever have to find out what that's like. But today would have been, this is their 3rd funeral, and they were just like, yep, go in, boo boo, do. And I was like kind of looking and watching them and shit. It was a very, very small service, probably the smallest I've ever been to today. And they were just like totally unfazed, and I was like, well, good, they weren't like a mess or anything like that. They weren't really close with their grandfather by any means, but there were sad events still, and I was proud that they were not falling apart because of the setting, but I was also kind of bummed out that they weren't falling apart too, that they're just. I don't want it to be like a normal thing for them, because it's not fuck. I mean, it's natural. It's a part of life, but is it normal? It's not fucking normal. If you're lucky, that's not something that you have to do all the time. And I'm fucking done for a while. So that being said, now the more I keep looking at the wall, I feel like I need to fix it more. Because it's like I hung it by myself, and I don't know, I ain't no fucking drywall, so it's like crooked and it's bothering me. So then I'm like worried that if I put the second piece underneath it, that'll be crooked too. So I'll probably have to back the screw out, shift it, fucking level it, and then we'll go from there. But Gasp, I asked, yo, what do we talk about tonight? I'm gonna check right now and see if anyone says anything. No one still said nothing. So if you didn't comment, go fuck yourself. Gasp, holler. Gasp said, let me look. It's fucking an hour ago, 46 minutes ago. How did you get your start in writing in graffiti? My start, like the actual honest to goodness start was just having a tag name as a youth, as a fuck, I was probably 12 with the whole KZK thing and all that, and I attempted. I always liked graffiti, and I attempted it, but I've just never been a great drawer, artist, anything. I'm just fucking not. I'm still not, you know. I just don't have that. I've tried it. It seems that I excelled in English and in writing, as opposed to, drawing or creating of the things of that nature. Even though I've made some cool shit here and there, I just don't have that where I see guys fucking sit down and they're just like, they fucking outline and shit. And the next thing you know, this whole shit comes together. I'm like, how the fuck did you just do that sitting here while having a conversation with me? Like I just could never figure that out. But I could probably write a verse. Well, maybe not anymore in a half an hour. But I could probably sit down and write a verse while they were doing that and rap something. They'd be like, oh shit, yo, how the fuck you just wrote that? But I'd like to think that, but not really. That's probably not, that probably wouldn't be the case these days. I'm a little rusty, I would say. But back in the fucking day though, boy, I could make it happen. I do miss that shit, man. Sometimes I sit here and when I'm doing this and I'm like looking at the fucking multi-track session and shit, and I'm just like, damn, it wouldn't be shit to just throw a beat on that track and just fucking do something. It wouldn't be nothing. But I don't know. I just don't have it anymore, man. I tried, and it's just not. I just don't have it. And it was a fucking downer too when I actually really started realizing, like, dude, this ain't for you. It's time to hang it up. And you know what, man? And I blame it on a lot of dumb shit why I quit music. But I mean, one, it was because I quit drinking and doing drugs. That had a lot to do with it, and I know it sounds fucking stupid, and I've heard a million people say it, but for me especially, it was true. I came up with some creative ass fucking shit when I had that barrier dropped. I guess whatever you could call it when you're under the influence of anything is, you have that veil is taken away. And your pure emotions or whatever the fuck it is, thoughts, and they really can come out, and that's when I really came up with some fucking wild shit. And I'm some random ass line in a joint I did to the fucking "Gimme That" beat. That's how fucking dated I am. I said something. It's a city with no order. I put eagles to the back of heads like old quarters. And I remember Paulie was like, dude, that shit is so fucking heat. Like, how did you even do that? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know. But I used to love doing that. And I used to love creating words and in the most detailed kind of punchlines that made sense, that weren't just words. But that's the only thing I've ever really been creative in. So when I quit music and I had to find another outlet for what the fuck was going on in my head, I kind of turned to writing on shit, because I think when I was making music, I always wanted to be famous. And I wanted to be rich and famous. And because I probably had an inferiority complex. I probably still do. Just from fucking childhood fucking bullshit, getting fucking, talk about bullying and fucking racism. Let me tell you something. So I always had kind of like this inferiority thing where I always wanted to be the fucking man. I always wanted to be the fucking center of the room. I wanted to be the center of attention. Maybe not attention though, because I don't want to be an attention whore, I guess you could say. I wanted to be known. I wanted people to see me and be like, oh, that's that dude. Oh, that's that dude. Da, 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 da. Or just pull up. Like, that's when I had that fucking Challenger. It like fucked me up all in the head because nobody had them. And I know I say this a lot, but the only thing I could get now would be like a fucking crazy Ferrari or something, or a Lamborghini to achieve the same thing that the Challenger did when that came out. That was like a real fucking head turner, and people were like, oh shit. And like a lot of people hadn't even seen that shit. And here's me fucking 20 years old or whatever the fuck I was. I can't remember. How old was I? You guys do the math. I was born in 86 and I bought it in 09. So was I 20-something, 22 or 23? And I'm all fucking fresh, tattooed up, fucking guns in the car and shit, fucking rifles pulling up like a fucking maniac with no shirt on, smoking a Black and Mild. I thought I was the fucking man. And it gave me this feeling like I was the man. And I was just probably a cheese dick. And people were just like, look at this fucking daddy's money, fucking little bitch. But it wasn't daddy's money. I was grinding, son. But I remember I pulled up to a McDonald's one time and I had this fat fucking knot of cash and I was just buying some bullshit. Erica was there. And I don't know if the girl thought that I couldn't hear or she thought the window was all the way closed or whatever. And she's like, must be nice being a drug dealer or some shit like that. And I was like offended. I remember sitting there thinking, bitch, who the fuck? And then I was like, well, I mean, she's right, but I can't really get mad. Yeah, I guess you are right. Yeah, you're right at that time. But I had a job too. You know, I wasn't paying for the car strictly with drug money. I mean, probably partially, but it made me feel like I was the man. And I think that was just because I didn't like myself for a long time. And then I think when I started writing on shit, it kind of gave me that same feeling, except for it wasn't the same feeling because only certain people know who you are. But depending on how much work you put in, like the whole city could be familiar with that symbolism, whatever it is, your throw up, your tags, you know, whatever. You know, if you do a character or you're crazy, I see no stickers everywhere, or you know, whatever it is, and whether they knew it was me or not, it almost left a mystery, like whether people noticed that or saw that, and it always made me feel like, yeah, I could be right here, and you wouldn't even know, and you're just there, you know. I don't know, but that's when I started that, and then I did less and less. Once I made friends, and I actually became friends with the people who I admired and looked up to in the scene, it almost did less. And then Devastator started, and then instead of being up or, you know, hitting shit here and there, the city turned into like a testing ground. and all these gas stations so people like, yo, all this dude does is hit gas stations up. Well, there's a reason for that. One, because I'm always at gas stations, right? And two, because I can keep an eye on shit. Like if there's places that I frequent a lot, whether it be on jobs or driving on my route or wherever, I hit these shits up so I can keep an eye on them. Not like, yo, let me see if my shit's a runner, but a lot of times it's just lines, drip lines and fucking smiley faces and shit, because I want to keep an eye on how they're doing in the world, how the local gas station buff, how good did they do on it, or how long it's gonna sit there and keep its color, or how long, in these real world. That's fucking crock. I steal the kids' Crocs, and I'm fucking trying to pull this thing over my goddamn heel. But I think these are the little ones. They're a little bit too small, and I'm trying to do something that's just not. I don't think it's physically fucking possible. But I should just get my own, because I gotta admit, I just be wearing these shits and I don't mind them at all. Anyway, I'm back. So then I kind of then everything was just like I remember fucking Silo sent me a picture of a fucking drip line or something that I did at a gas station. He's like, oh, that's you. You know what I mean? And that kind of turned into like, when people seen that, they were like, oh, there he is. And it wasn't even like a name or anything, on fucking. So, I mean, I guess that I still write on shit. I still do shit. I just don't do it like I used to. And you know what, man, to be for real, and I know a lot of people, we were just talking about this too. Me and somebody were talking about it. Like, at this point in my life, I'm not going to tell anyone what they should or shouldn't do. I'm not going to be sitting here lecturing you. I can tell you from experience of the way things turned out for me, or what it cost me, or if it was good or if it was bad. I can tell you all that kind of shit. What I'm not gonna do is tell you what to do. And for me personally, dude, I cannot afford a fucking graffiti charge right now. I just can't. I can't. Like if I walk down the street right now and went and fucking did a 2-letter on the side of this building at the end of my street and got clipped, Devastator would be out of business. That would be it. If I had to pay for a retainer right now, it would be it. It would have to be on hold, and that would be the end of it, because I just couldn't. I couldn't fucking pay for a case and still continue to do this. So that's and it's probably an excuse or whatever, because people have been doing fucking graffiti for years and years and years and never been caught. But I just can't take that risk right now. I got too many people that are depending on me. I got 4 fucking kids and a wife, and they all depend on me being home, and if I fuck up, they're fucked. And so I can't fuck up. And I'm not gonna lie to you, that shit scares me. And especially being a felon, I don't know, probably nothing. It probably wouldn't affect anything if I got a case now, 20 years later, but I don't fucking want to find out. The fucking next case I get is going to be really bad if I have to get one. So, I mean, I guess that kind of speaks for itself, because if I got to go, if I'm going to have to go, someone's got to pay. But so that's where the graffiti came from. Me filling a hole, a void in my heart, and also probably trying to chase that fucking dopamine rush of being that dude. And as I got older now, I realized I don't even fucking need none of that shit. I don't give a fuck about being that dude. I'm fucking pushing 40. Who the fuck am I trying to impress out there? I'm just, how I'm gonna be that dude is to my fucking kids, that they got a room to sleep in now, and we're not fucking 3 to a room anymore, and that my parents feel like they did a good job, that everything turned out all right, and that they didn't fail me because they didn't, and none of them did. But that's kind of how I guess maybe I don't feel inferior anymore. I might still feel ugly, or I might feel old, or I might look at myself and say like, damn, I used to be this or that, or I used to be a good looking dude, or I have all these fucking weird thoughts, and when I look in the mirror and shit, and I used to I think back like I'm 15, 16, 17, and I was like this, I felt like anyway, it seemed like it, like I was this good looking dude, and fucking, and even when I was broke and shit, at least I had my hair cut all the time, and I was fucking, everything was crisp, and I was fucking kind of a little over the top diva with that shit at a certain point in my life. But again, I think that was just having to prove something. I had to be the guy. And when it was time to fight, I always had to fight. I was fighting. Why the fuck you fighting? And all these other people started this fight. And then when I got embarrassed in front of people, I had to fucking stab people, like, because I was embarrassed, because a dude embarrassed me in front of a bunch of people I would have never seen again. So I guess my whole life I've been fighting this feeling inadequate, or feeling less, feeling whatever it is, and throughout my life I've found ways to I've found ways to soothe those feelings, and but it still doesn't change the fact where my fucking hairline is. It doesn't change the fact that I'm getting wrinkles around my eyes, and that I fucking hurt in the morning sometimes. It doesn't, none of that changes. And my tattoos are all fading and old, and they look like the tattoos of people that I looked at when I was started doing this shit, and looking at them like yo, them joints is old. Like I look at people and I see like they got mad new shit, like young ass dudes, 18, 19, and their shit is all like brand new and crispy and shit. And I wear this old faded shit like fucking mad proud because I was there. They were probably like fucking 6 years old when I was sitting in that chair. I was just talking to some dude I was arguing with the other day. And I was like, yo, get the fuck out of here, man. And I was like, I'm probably 20 fucking years older than you. And he's like, probably. And I was like, damn, he's probably right too. Yeah. So that's where graffiti came from, is filling a hole, trying to fix my mental problems. But that's really about it. So I'm glad today is winding down. I ate. I'm about to be done. Ain't no fucking live PD on tonight, of course. So I'm probably about to go knock out these 2 orders that got to be done, and take fucking 2 Tylenol because I got a headache. And Brian told me I gotta fucking get some raw almonds for the headaches, so I gotta do that too. I keep saying I'm gonna do it and I forget, so I gotta do that. Handful of raw almonds for these little fucking headaches, these evening headaches. Or maybe I should maybe go to a doctor at some point in my life, because I haven't been to one of those in a long time. Just to get an overall checkup, because I'm sure this diet is fucking definitely no good for my health. All I eat is fucking deli Swiss cheese, pepperoni, salami, bologna, all the deli cuts, and I drink water. And I just started drinking vitamin water, son. That zero sugar shit, vitamin water, and Gatorade Zero. I was like sure that shit had mad carbs in it. But then when I started looking, I was like, damn, I've been depriving myself this whole time of flavor, even though I drink sparkling water with all kinds of different flavors. But dude, I've drank them all. I've fucking done it all. And now I can add a little something different to it, and it doesn't fucking make me all bloated and shit. Right. So right before, when I'm doing this shit, if I drink one, I'll be like all fucked up. I'm trying to think of anything new. Just real quick before I go, because I'm looking at this. I'm about to fix this wall probably as soon as I'm done. Well, I'm trying to think of something that's new, but I don't think there is. I don't think there's anything new. I don't have any projects. I don't got nothing going on. Got to try to play catch up for these bad couple months, and I'll catch back up, and then we'll be good. You know, everything's good though. You know, we're picking back up. Hopefully, when it gets to just a little bit more officially summer, maybe after the 4th, it'll feel like summer to everybody, and they'll be ready to get out there and get it bumping. So if that's you, get that order and get it bumping. We got Violet on deck. We got all that shit on deck. All right, man. Love you guys. I'm out of here.